Do you want to pass the ANCC PMHNP exam on your first try? Hey, what's up guys, it's me, the Psych David C. So taking the ANCC PMHNP exam is pretty scary. Like I'm sure y'all get flashbacks of when you had to take the ANCLEX and like how hard you had to study for it and all that. But I have some good news. The ANCC is not nearly as hard as the ANCLEX. And in this video, I'm going to share exactly what I did to study to help me pass on my first try. So you can do it too. Let's talk about it. First things first, schedule your ANCC PMHNP exam. A lot of people are actually scared to schedule the exam in the first place because they don't know how much time they're going to need to study. But honestly, if you schedule your exam first, that gives you like a deadline and actually like forces you to study as much as you can within that time frame. So for me personally, I took the ANCC 1 month after my graduation date. So I studied for about 4 weeks and I found that was plenty of time. Now there's some people who do it shorter, like I think somebody in my class took it in 2 weeks, and then other people will take it like 2 or 3 months after they graduate instead. But for me personally, I think 4 weeks is a good sweet spot. Honestly, I think if you're actually like dedicated to studying and passing the exam, 4 weeks is plenty. And then next up, make a study plan. Don't just study randomly and be like, okay, maybe I'll study when I get some free time here and there. I suggest actually making like set times of the day and the week where you're actually just gonna devote all your time to studying. Like for me back then, I was working full time like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I decided to make Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday my study days. And I would study from like literally 9 to 5. It was basically like a second job for 4 weeks. But by making it a routine like that, I just got accustomed to like studying every single one of those days from those times. And it just became like normal pretty much. It still gave me like 1 day off Friday to like enjoy doing whatever I wanted outside of work or school. But I think it's really important that you at least set certain days and certain times where you just devote yourself to just purely studying. Now, I know that's going to be harder for people who have other responsibilities, like maybe kids. But honestly, just hire a babysitter for like 4 weeks. It's going to be worth it. But also make sure you take some breaks in between that study time. I would say probably about like every hour or so, just take like a 10 or 15 minute break before you go back to studying. And next up, use Georgette's ANCC PMHNP review courses. If someone were to ask me like what I would study to pass the exam if I could only choose one thing, then this would be it. So Dr. Georgette is also a PMHNP who has her own review courses that you can buy online on her website. I'm not sponsored, by the way. But yeah, she offers like, I think 6 different courses that covers everything that's going to be on the exam. But she also has this one special course called the Last Minute Review, or LMR, which I think is like a 6-hour course that covers literally everything in one condensed course. And it's done online, so you have to like attend it at a certain time. But she has like many dates and times available. But yeah, anyway, literally like everything she says in her last minute review will most likely be on the exam. Like I'm not even exaggerating to the point where I feel like it's kind of like cheating, but it's not actually cheating. She just has all the like high yield subjects in one condensed course. So I suggest like taking all the notes that you can, pretty much like typing or recording whatever she says in that course so you can access it later and just like study from that. And honestly, if you just study everything she says from that course, you're gonna pass. The class is pretty like expensive, but it's definitely worth every penny in my opinion. It's the best, most efficient study resource that I've used to pass the ANCC. But obviously you don't want to just study one thing. You want to study like from a multiple array of sources. So let's go on to the next one. I think it's helpful, which is the PMHNP Purple Book. Now this one's useful in the fact that it's kind of like the unofficial official study guide for the exam. Like it's an actual like textbook instead of a course that you attend. So I was kind of just reading this book when I had downtime. Like let's say it was like a slow day at work and I had some downtime, I just bust out the Purple Book and just start reading from where I left off. It's definitely not as efficient and useful as Georgette's, but it is a really good supplement still to have on hand. So I definitely recommend picking this up and just like reading it in your spare time. It does cover a lot of the high yield subjects in the book as well, but it also covers a lot more like low yield subjects too. But it's still worth picking up. I think I bought mine on Amazon, but you can find it on like eBay too for cheaper, I think. It's not that expensive, so it's definitely a good thing just to have on hand. And then next up, take practice exams. There's actually a lot of like companies who make practice exams for the ANCC PMHNP exam. Like I know Georgette's has her own one, I think. But anyway, the one that I found the most reliable was actually the one made by ANCC themselves. It's called the ANCC Practice IQ. It gives you something like 275 practice questions with all the rationales for the right answers. So, I would do like some studying and then take a practice exam, see how I do, read the rationales, go back to studying, take another practice exam, rinse and repeat. I think these are pretty useful because it kind of like simulates the environment that you're gonna be in. Because if all you're doing is like reading notes or like watching lectures, you might get freaked out once you actually sit down at the exam desk. So this kind of prepares you for that. It's also useful knowledge just to see like the rationales and why each answer is right and why each one is wrong. You'd also do something like, make yourself do 30 practice questions per day until you, complete all the practice questions. And I would definitely do all the practice questions more than once too. And then next up is watch YouTube videos. So this is a really good way to study, especially if you're a visual learner. Obviously, because you can watch a YouTube video while they're explaining things to you. Honestly, just search something like, ANCC PMHNP study in YouTube and just watch the top videos that have like the most likes and views. Pay attention to when they say high yield subject, because that means that subject is most likely going to be on the exam. Just watch a couple of different YouTubers and then just pick your favorite one and just watch their videos and learn from their videos. I wouldn't rely too much on these just because it is YouTube and it's like more informal, but it's definitely still useful though. And my last tip is to join a study group. Now, I recommend joining a study group, not really for like being able to ask your peers questions. It's more for like motivation and holding yourself accountable for studying. Like if you and your classmate agree to meet up on Wednesday at 6 p.m. to study, then you feel like you're gonna have to be there. And if all you guys do is literally sit in the library until it closes and you don't talk to each other at all during the session, that's still a huge win. Like obviously you guys are gonna take some breaks here and there and then you can talk to each other about the exams and all that. But yeah, more so study groups for me anyway are about holding yourself accountable to actually study. So those are my tips on how to pass the ANCC PMHNP exam on the first try. Trust me, it's really freaking easy. Like if you're able to pass the NCLEX, you can pass this like no problem at all. Just give yourself time to study and actually study during that time and use these resources while you're studying, and you're gonna pass no problem. If you have any questions or other tips regarding the ANCC PMHNP exam, let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. I do videos on like Psych NP stuff and just Psych stuff in general. I am also on TikTok and Instagram if you want to follow me over there at the Psych NP David C. I do medication management for adults living in California. If you're interested, there's a link down below. And with that, your mental health just leveled up. You're welcome.